This is Positive Moments with Jean Walters Lucy, personal growth consultant, teacher, author, and lecturer. Hello again. I'm Richard Miller, and welcome to Positive Moments. Today's show is entitled Setting the Quality of Our Lives. And now, here's Jean.
Hi, this is Jean Walters Lucy. According to the law of physics, we are constantly expressing energy. Through our thoughts, actions, and words, energy projects from us, produces an effect in our life, and returns back to us. It's just like the rain that plummets to the ground, waters the vegetation, restocks the lakes and oceans, and then evaporates back into the sky to go through the whole entire process again. The example comes to mind of the shrew, who complains about everyone and everything all the time, yet wonders why no one wants to come to visit. Inasmuch as most people find griping depleting rather than enriching, they choose not to partake. Her negativity produces her loneliness. Because our words and actions affect the outcomes we experience as life, wouldn't it make sense to tailor them to your highest desire? For instance, if you want love and friendship in your life, it would make sense that you express friendly, loving words and actions. Or if you want to get along with coworkers, it would seem fitting to express kind, helpful words and actions as opposed to snide remarks, backbiting, and criticism. If you want to create a successful business, helping others be successful would ensure that result. And of course, you would encourage customer loyalty by focusing your efforts on fulfilling their needs. Isn't that what business is all about anyway? There's a saying, if you want something, give it away. Perhaps it refers to this law of physics. What goes around comes around, or what you sow, you reap. You certainly would not plant onions in a field and expect petunias to sprout, nor would you plant marigolds and reap corn. So become mindful of the energy you emit and make sure you are giving out what you want to receive. You really can create the life you desire and the life you deserve. This is Jean Walters Lucy, personal growth consultant, teacher, author, and lecturer. If you have comments or questions regarding this program or any other personal growth subject, email me from my website at www.spiritualtransformation.com or call 314-991-8439. I would love to hear from you.
Well, Jean, if I understand you correctly, you're talking about taking responsibility for your life and the things that happen to you. Yet, I don't understand how that works if it seems like you were a victim of circumstances like, being laid off because of company cutbacks, or every time you go on vacation, something bad happens, car trouble or a break-in or a stolen credit card. Can you explain that? How does that work?
Well, yeah, we set up our own selves through this victimhood thing. Most of us were taught that we are victims, and we were taught to feel sorry for ourselves. Oh, you poor thing. And we're also taught that we're supposed to be perfect, and that means we're supposed to conduct ourselves a certain way, and we're supposed to say the appropriate words in all the appropriate situations. And as a result of that kind of thinking, first of all, we give up early. We know we're never going to come up with the right words or the right situation or the right activities. We're always going to fall down on the job most of the time because we don't even know what it is that we're supposed to be doing, but we're supposed to know that by osmosis, the perfect way to do it anyway. So as a result of that, we become victims. We begin to think of ourselves as, well, I'm just never going to be good enough. But our ideas of perfection are so out of whack that we can never meet them anyway. So it's natural then for us to fall back into the victim mode and go, well, I can't do it anyway. I'm not good enough. So what we have to watch out for is victimhood. We have to watch ourselves become victims because the second we feel sorry for ourselves, we've disempowered ourselves. The second we go, oh, poor me, why me? Am I the one that's downsized? We become powerless. And when you're powerless, you can't possibly come up with another idea, another way, and another possibility. So give yourself 5 minutes to be a victim, but then get off of that and move on, because there are opportunities ready and waiting for you, and you will never find them as long as you're in the victim mode. And to say that we draw these things to us and it's just happenstance is ridiculous, because if we're constantly thinking about how bad life is and how all these horrible things are happening all the time, our energy is so low and so negative that those people who are want to prey on somebody else is going to go directly to you, because your energy is right down there with them, and you're going to be the one that's most visible to them. And even in like the police department will tell you that if you walk someplace, like you've got someplace to go and your head is up, you're less likely to have somebody stopping you or trying to rob you or victimize you in any way. It's those people who walk around like victims with their head down and, oh, I don't know, poor me, I don't know. And they're the ones who are going to be hit on because they're easy prey. And that's basically a metaphor for the whole idea of victimhood is, if you're asking for it, you're going to get it.
Well, you're talking about, giving out what you want to receive. But say I want this person to love me. But before I do, I just don't want to give my love to anybody. Before I do so, I kind of want to wait and see if they love me first.
That's a great setup for victimhood right there, because I can't tell you the number of times I've heard that one. When am I going to find someone to love me? And my answer to that is when you start loving somebody else. You have to lead the process. You have to become the loving person before you're going to draw somebody to you that wants to love you too. They're not even going to see that you as lovable if you're not emitting wonderful positive energy called love. When you're not caring or giving or kind or empathetic or in some way demonstrating love, the quality of love, no, you aren't magnetic. You're not going to magnetize somebody to you that can see all that greatness and wonderfulness in you. So we have to start the process ourselves. And if you're all closed up, I remember a situation when I was in the singles world where I went to a singles dance and I looked around and everybody was all crunched up and they were like, oh my God, I'm here and nobody's going to come talk to me. And oh my God. And they were so busy feeling sorry for themselves that nobody would approach for anything. It would look like a real bum rap, And I thought, well, if you're going to be in this place, then you better be radiant and you better start really giving away friendship and giving away love. And that's how I approached it. So I went forth and I said, hi, my name's Jean. Tell me about you. And I started meeting people. I had a goal. I was to meet at least 5 people every night, and usually I went to 10 or more. And by the end of about 3 evenings like that, I knew everybody in the place, and I was having a ball, and everybody knew me. But it was because I started the process, and I think that's just true with every situation. You've got to be the one that takes the ball and rolls with it.
What about the person that says, gee, though, I was hurt before in love, and so I don't want that to happen again, and so I want to make sure about the other person first before I give, because I feel if I give my love or something, then I'm in a disadvantage.
Okay. It's wrong thinking, because first of all, no one can hurt you. If you're hurt, it's by some misinterpretation or misunderstanding that you've created. Most of the time what happens is that we create the people that we're involved with. We make them up in our mind. And I told people many times, there are no Prince Charmings and there are no Cinderellas. We're all kind of flawed beings in some way or other. We're not your perfect image of what you're supposed to be, of the other person is supposed to be. And so we make people up in our mind. We imagine them. And then guess what? As time goes on, we begin to discover that they are not this incredibly whatever, giving, kind, empathetic, that they have their own issues and their own problems and such. And it's such a bummer. And I've heard this recently. I was so shocked when I learned this. I was so shocked. And I go, so there weren't indications all along the way that this person was like that? Well, yeah, there really were. But so you didn't pay any attention to that, right? You ignored that? Well, yeah. Okay, well then I guess you were shocked because you were shocking yourself because you were lying to yourself the whole time about who you were dealing with. So yeah, if you've been hurt in love before, you want to examine your own feelings. What was it that you feel hurt you? And if you say, well, they lied or whatever, then maybe you need to look at how you've been lying to yourself and get clear about that, because we set ourselves up for that kind of hurt.
In other words, Jean, if I get you correctly, you're saying if we want love, we have to give love. If we want trust, we have to trust others.
No, we have to trust ourselves. In other words, if somebody's lying to me and I know clearly that it's a lie, and I'm going, oh well, they didn't really mean it, then I'm ignoring the truth. And I need to trust myself and go, I was here and I saw this and I heard it for a reason. I need to pay attention to that, not because I choose to judge this person or decide that they're horrible, but simply because that's good information for me to have that might come in handy later on. And then I don't have to go around in my mind saying, this person is so honest, they always tell the truth, when in fact I actually saw with my own eyes and ears them lying in another situation. So it's not about judging. It's simply about collecting information and using that information to move through life and understand who we're dealing with. I think Maya Angelou said, if someone tells you who they are, believe them. And I think that's a very succinct little way of saying that we need to trust our own perceptions.
So I guess also another way of looking at this too, if we lie ourselves and not just to ourselves but lie to other people, then it's natural that we're going to suspect other people of lying to us because we do it ourselves. So I guess so if we want trust and we want these other things, we have to make that adjustment in our own lives and not only not lie to ourselves but not lie to others as well.
Well, particularly not lying to yourself. If you don't have to say, oh my God, you're wearing your hair that way. That is so gross. You're not obligated to do that because it's truthful. It's just your perception, and so from that point of view, it's only your perception. But I know the classic story about the spouse who's saying, now, where were you? I mean, you were 15 minutes late, and, were you with somebody else? I mean, what's going on here? I think you must be with somebody else. And, of course, they're the ones who are with somebody else. So, I mean, we've all heard that story many, many times. So, yes, if you're living a deceptive life, don't be too shocked if you happen to be around other people who are also deceiving you as well.
Yeah, because I guess if you're out playing around on your wife or your spouse, then it's also going to be natural that you're going to suspect them of doing that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The pot calling the kettle black,
Reaping what you sowing, and I guess we haven't used the word circles yet, but that certainly in your opening remarks come to mind. Everything is circular.
Yes. And what goes around comes around. We've heard that one. What goes around comes around. And if we can remember that, we're really understanding a law of nature that what we put out comes back to us. Those people who are genuine and kind and good, they'll have so many people in their life that are doing the same thing for them. And sometimes we'll see people who pretend to be genuine and kind and so forth, and they're wondering why they don't get it back. But perhaps their motives are at fault there. Perhaps they need to look at their own motives and their own genuineness, in what they give and how they serve and how they help, and maybe they'll see then what the restriction is in the flow.
I guess we have to stop putting conditions on everything.
Yes.
Don't
assume.
I will love you under the following conditions.
Right.
I will trust you, but only if, or
right.
I will do this for you, but only because I think in the long run you can help me out.
Or how about this one? If you love me, you would know what I want. That's a good one, isn't it? Why aren't you reading my mind? You're supposed to be so attuned to me that you know what's going on in my mind. And I tell people all the time, I'm not a great mind reader. You're going to have to just come right on and tell me. I'm sorry about that.
Jean, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Another great positive moments. This has been Positive Moments with Jean Walters Lucy, personal growth consultant, teacher, author, and lecturer. If you have comments or questions on any personal growth subject like universal law, dream interpretation, intuition, self-esteem, or self-empowerment, you can reach Jean at her website, www.spiritualtransformation.com, or call 314-991-8439 and leave a message. 314-991-8439. I'm Richard Miller, and we'll see you for your next Positive Moment.